Hey everyone, Richard here, Metal Fan. For you guys, an old school album review. I'm going to review an old album, and as you can see by the shirt I'm wearing, this album's 10-year anniversary. I'm going to review the self-titled debut album from the band Wintersun. Yep, this album is 10 years old today, and this is easily one of my favorite albums of all time. I remember getting into Wintersun probably in the middle of last year, about a year ago, I think. I heard some friends talking about it, and they mentioned this band, and when I first heard this band, like a few songs, I was like, holy shit, and I pretty much got hooked onto them instantly, and I'm really glad I did, because now they're easily one of my favorite bands, and this album's one of my favorite albums of all time. But yeah, let's give a little backstory for Wintersun for those of you who don't know. They're a 4-piece metal band from Helsinki, Finland, that formed in, I believe, 2003. Now, one person to talk about when it comes to this band is a man named Jari Manpa. Now, during this time, he was a frontman for a folk metal band, Ensiferum, which I also love. I love the first two albums that he was on. But anyway, during that time he was in Ensiferum, he decided to have like the little side project, which would later become the almighty Wintersun. And then during the time, he was actually booked studio time to record this album, but however, there was a little bit of a problem, because when he booked studio time to record the debut album, he and Ensiferum were planning on doing some touring at that point. And then he went to the band and asked if he could have some time off to record this album, and, well, they fired him, which is kind of bullshit, but anyway. But then this gave him all the time he needed to record this album. He did all the vocals on this album, the lead vocals, backing vocals, the clean and harsh vocals. He plays all the guitars on this album, does the bass playing. He's a good bass player too, and does all the keyboards on this album. And then he also enlisted drummer Kai Hato, who at the time was playing for a band called Rotten Sound, to do the drums on this album. And yeah, and then September 13th, 2004, this album was released. And what to say about this album? It is phenomenal. Like, everything about this album is just amazing. One thing to note is the production of this album. The production is fantastic. It's like everything is where it needs to be. All the instruments is all aligned, and it's all perfectly, and it just flows together naturally and organically. And Jari Manpa's vocals on this album are really, really good. Like, his clean singing and harsh singing is just really amazing and just epic and powerful. Really love that. His guitar playing is just fucking amazing. Like, I consider him kind of like a heavy metal Mozart. Like, seriously, he's just really all flawless. Like, his guitar playing is flawless and just wow. And his bass playing, like, I didn't even know he played bass on this album until I heard of this album, saw the album credits, and he's a good bass player too. And the keyboards, like sort of synths and other strings and stuff, sound pretty good. They sort of fit well. And Kayato's drumming on this album is just really, really good. It's just bombastic. It's just all over the place. I just really love that. But yeah, let's talk about this album, because I really want to talk about it. Now, the album opens up with the song Beyond the Dark Sun, which is the source song of the album. It pretty much showcases what the band is and what they can do. And I really love that little sweep that Jari does. It's just a really good song. It's just a really great way to start off the album. A really great opener, and this is pretty much the only song that has a music video to it. It's pretty much the only Wintersun music video, honestly. Has Jari on the moon and just the band playing. It's just a really good song. I really loved that song. Then we get into the next song on the album, Winter Madness, which is just a really amazing song. It just has some insane guitar solo on that song near the middle of it, and I really love that a lot. And just some beautiful melodies. It's just a really good song, and I really love the chorus. It's just really epic and powerful as fuck. Then we get to Sleeping Stars. Now, this is where the album kind of slows down a little bit. Has a little bit of an atmospheric vibe to it, and has some really nice lyrics and nice vocal parts. I really love how then it sort of ends with, like, it's sort of the music fade that's out with sort of little synths and little strings and stuff. I really love that a lot. Then we get to pretty much another epic song, Battle Against Time, which has an insane technical guitar solo. I really love the riffs on that song. It's just a really great song. It's just really good. It feels like it's something I could hear from like a battle movie soundtrack or something. It's just a really great song. Then we get to a really amazing song, Death and the Healing, which is a really powerful song, and it's just pretty much all clean singing from Yari. And it's just a really great arpeggios, and I really love the chorus, which is time is the death and the healing. Take your last breath, because death is deceiving. And it's just a really good song. I really love that. Then we get to the next song, which is Star Child, which is the very most progressive song on this album. Has some really powerful riffs and has some very folky type elements to that song. I really love that song a lot. It's a really good song. It's really awesome. Then we get to the next song called Beautiful Death, which has a very great atmospheric vibe to it, kind of like Sleeping Stars. It's just a really good song. Really love that. Then the album closes with Sadness and Hate, which just kind of reminds me a little bit of folk metal a little bit. It just has a very calm ending. It's just a really good way to end this masterpiece. Now, overall, this album is just a fantastic album. I would highly recommend listening to this album if you're a fan of metal, or if you want to get into this band. Obviously start with this, since it's their first album. And if I were to give this album a score, and well, you probably guessed it by now, I'm going to give this album a perfect, solid 10 out of 10. So yep, that's my review of the Wintersun debut album. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later here, and keep it metal.